So it's kind of perfect for talking about books and reading stories and being in your pajamas, huh? You're sleepy? Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. All right. So one more time. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Janelle Dean, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager at KPBS, and we're very excited this morning to be here live at Rosa Parks Elementary to bring you One Book, One San Diego. Who's excited? All right. We are also live streaming, so we've got lots of friends watching us right now. Can everybody say hello to our friends watching us? Welcome, everyone here, everyone watching. We're very excited this morning to be celebrating our kids' book for One Book, One San Diego 2023. Before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about One Book, One San Diego very briefly, because I know we want to jump right in. But One Book, One San Diego is our region's literary program, premier literary program. It's been around for 17 years. And each year, we select, the community nominates and selects a kid's book, a teen's book, an adult book, and a book in Spanish to share with the entire San Diego community. And this year, the community nominated and selected Nigel and the Moon. Did you all love Nigel and the Moon? You have it right there. Perfect. All right. So we will be talking all about Nigel and the Moon today. Before I hand it over, I want to thank our special event partners, Words Alive, and funders Roberta and Mark Emerson in the PNC Foundation. A big thank you to School in the Park, specifically Tim Jepson for all his support. As well, Mr. Jepson, yes. As well as to Rosa Parks, of course, for all your support and all of our participating schools in the San Diego Unified School District. Our amazing district partners, Mick Rabin, Mike Mackey, and Dr. Lamont Jackson, Superintendent of San Diego Unified, which we will be hearing from in just a second. Now, on behalf of Rosa Parks, I'd like to welcome up your fantastic principal, Ms. Prado, to offer a few words.
Good morning. Good morning, boys and girls. I'm so excited that it's Pajama Day and that we get to have this special event here today. One of my favorite things to do is be in my pajamas and read. Yeah, I love to read. So I'm so excited to have you guys here today, and I'm excited to see you all sitting so nicely and showing everyone what good readers we have here at Rosa Parks. And I read this book with my family, and I enjoyed reading about how Nigel was a little bit afraid first to share his dreams, but then at the end, he was brave and shared his dreams and was also proud of what his parents' work was, their jobs. So I'm just so excited to hear the book again. Thank you, boys and girls. And now we're going to hear from our superintendent, Dr. Lamont Jackson.
Hello, I'm Dr. Lamont Jackson, superintendent of the San Diego. Hello, I'm Dr. Lamont Jackson, Superintendent of the San Diego Unified School District. We are pleased to partner with the San Diego Public Library, San Diego County Library, and KPBS to present the 17th annual, that's right, the 17th annual One Book, One San Diego author event in the children's book category. The San Diego Unified School District is once again privileged to participate in this amazing reading program that assembles our larger San Diego community for a common conversation centered on literacy. By sharing books with our families and our community, we can create deep connections with one another, and we can foster a sense of belonging around our shared experiences. This year's book, Nigel and the Moon, focuses on the dreams and affirmations while providing critical representation that is reflective of lived experiences for all of our students. This insightful book helps proudly proclaim the value of every learner in our district. It also highlights the beautiful contributions their families make to our larger community. Thanks and praise to author Antwan Eady and illustrator Gracey Zhang for delivering such a gift to young readers across the San Diego Unified School District and throughout San Diego County. Nigel and the Moon delivers an unmistakable message to our students to be true to themselves and to follow their dreams. Thank you again to KPBS, the San Diego Public Library, and the San Diego County Library for uniting young learners everywhere in such a foundational one book, one San Diego literary experience.
All right. So without further ado, because I'm sure you all are wanting to hear from Antwan and Gracey, who's excited? All right. So Antwan Eady, author of Nigel and the Moon, is originally from South Carolina. And he's the author of Nigel and the Moon. And he has a deep appreciation for family, community, and nature. And you can tell that through the story of Nigel and the Moon, for sure. Now he gets to share stories with the world and lives in Georgia. Gracey Zhang is the illustrator of the beautiful art that you see in Nigel and the Moon. And she received the Ezra Jack Keats Illustrator Award for her debut picture book, Lala's Words. She was born and raised in Vancouver, Canada, and now lives in New York. So welcome up, Antwan and Gracey.
Thank you. Hello, hello. Y'all look amazing, by the way. I love the pajamas. And I see like a Pikachu. I see so many different things. A skeleton. Oh, it's a little bit closer. Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. And thank you for everyone that's joining us live. We are going to read the story of Nigel, but first we'll talk a little bit about ourselves, and I'll talk a little bit about why I wrote this story. Okay, there we go. First, you want to take it away, Gracey?
Hi, everyone. My name is Gracey Zhang, and I did all the drawings in this book. And we have a special gift for you guys later, but all the materials that I used to make these drawings, you guys will be getting as well. So for all the young artists out there, it's not too early to start making your own books. Yeah. So.
All right, so I'll get started. We're definitely going to do questions too, but first I would like to ask all of you a question. How many of you have ever been scared? You've been scared. I see a couple of brave souls in here, and that's beautiful too, but I've been scared, and there are times where I'm still scared, right? And the story that we're about to read today is a story about a young boy who's scared to tell the world his dreams, so he shares them with the moon at night. And when I was your age, I had a lot of dreams, big ideas, and a big head. But you know what? I was afraid, like Nigel, to share those dreams with the world. I wanted to be a chemist because I love mixing up chemicals. I wanted to be a geologist because I love rocks. I wanted to be a veterinarian because I love animals. And I wanted to be a chef because I love food. But I was afraid of telling the world my dreams, sort of like Nigel. And that was the inspiration for me to tell a story about a young boy who's afraid to tell the world his dreams, who eventually gains the courage to share it with the world. So, are you ready to hear this story? Yeah. All right. I'm going to... Well, yeah, that's fine. So this is the story of Nigel and the Moon, written by me and illustrated by the amazing Gracey Zhang. Let's begin. At night, he tells the moon his dreams. And here, his dreams are safe. Hi, my name's Nigel, and I'm an astronaut, a dancer, a superhero too. Among the stars he twirls, quietly soaring in the still of the night. With pride, his chest swells, and his eyes, they glow. His smile, it shines. Now, the moon isn't the brightest body in the sky. Nigel is, and so are his dreams. But even with dreams so bright, he isn't ready for the world to see. The first day of Career Week has arrived, and Nigel's school takes a trip to the library. Book after book, page after page, his classmates choose their favorite jobs. Nigel flips, and he flips, and he flips again, but a dancer like him cannot be found. Can you hear me if I just project, or should I use the mic? Okay, because okay. I don't want to have my back turned. Okay, I'm sorry. On the second day, his class shadows their parents at work. House after house, block after block, Nigel follows his mom. With feet planted on the ground, Nigel looks to the sky, and the distance from here to there grows larger still. Actually, we can use the podium. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Back in his bed, he searches for the moon. In the dark hue of the night, he finds it once more. And there, between the moon and him, his dreams are waiting. Tomorrow, I'll tell the world, he says, yet he quivers at the thought. On the third day, the teacher asks, "What would you like to be when you grow up?" "A doctor, an engineer like my dad, a veterinarian." Nigel shrinks in his chair. I don't know. He can't bring himself to whisper the word superhero. Thank you. But later that night, he tells the moon his hopes, and out the window they glide, far, far away, where no one can pull them down. One day, I'll land on the moon, dance ballet, and wear my cape with honor. But Nigel also worries, and he shares that with the moon. What if I wish to be too many things, he wonders. When the sun rises, he packs his dreams away again. On the fourth day, his teacher asks, "What are your parents' careers?" "My mom's a surgeon. My dad's a weatherman. My mother's the president of a big candy company." Now, all eyes are on Nigel. "My parents," he pauses, then asks to be excused. That night, he tells the moon his truth. "I'm scared. My parents don't have fancy jobs. Will my class laugh if I tell them?" It's easy to tell the moon his truth. It's easy to tell the moon his dreams, but Nigel's not ready to tell the world. The next morning, Nigel slowly makes his way down the stairs. "Dream big, son," Dad says, "and be proud of who you are," says Mom. The final day of Career Week is here, and some special guests have arrived. An author, a chef, and an architect too. But that's not all, the teacher says. "Come in, Mr. and Mrs. Strong." Nigel slides down in his chair, but a shy smile grows across his face. His mom introduces herself first. "I'm a postal carrier, and I help connect people around the world. Love letters, birthday cards, postcards, and more. I deliver them all." His dad follows. "I'm a truck driver. Most days, it feels like I'm driving a monster truck. Vroom. The class erupts in laughter. Looking around the room, Nigel can tell it's the good kind. Above all, his dad adds, pointing at his son, raising Nigel's been the best job we've ever had. With pride, Nigel's chest swells. His eyes, they glow. His smile, it shines. At night, he tells the moon his dreams, but today, he takes a stand. I'd like to say something. Nigel joins his parents in front of the class. I want to be an astronaut on the moon or a dancer on the stage. And when the world needs a superhero, I can be that too. At night, he tells the moon his dreams, but telling the world isn't so scary after all. The end. Thank you so much. Now, I have a few questions for you. Gracey and I would like to know, what are some of your dreams? Go for it. What would you like to be? To be an officer, love it. Take your time. I can come back to you. What is it? A surgeon. I love that. Go for it. A police officer. We have two. An artist like Gracey. All right, Gracey, anyone you want to pick out?
How about the one in the pink butterfly? Yeah. An artist?
Another
Good
artist.
choice.
Go for it. Another artist. Gracey's inspiring a lot of artists here.
I think I'm winning here.
I know. Go for it. Both of you can go first. Yeah. A doctor, love it. Another artist, I think that's 4 or 5. Skeleton. A barber, nice, cool haircut too. Go for it. Say it one more time for me.
Help animals?
Help animals. Oh, I love that. You, yes. Tattoo artist, veterinarian.
Cool
and right
job.
behind you. An artist. Okay, I'm not sure where we are on time, so what we're gonna do on the count of 3, I want you all to shout your dreams out at us, okay? You ready? 1, 2, 3. I heard some of them, I'm sure. All right, so do you have any questions for us? You have a question? All right. Would you like to stand up and ask? Yeah, you can come up. Yeah, you can come up for sure. Yeah. All right. All right. Why did I decide to become an author? And for Gracey, who's also an author and illustrator, why did you decide to become an illustrator?
Oh my God. So when I was your age, I loved to draw and I just kept on drawing. I would draw my homework. I would hand in homework as drawings. I got in a lot of trouble. But the thing is, if there's something that you like and you do it every day and you practice, you will get better at it. And maybe one day you get good enough at it where it can become the way you live your life. So I feel very fortunate that I can be an artist and sometimes write as well. So if there's anything you guys enjoy doing, keep on doing it.
So I decided to be an author because I love words. And growing up, when I was your age, I was very shy, and I still am shy now. But writing was my way of talking. It was my way of communicating without having to be in front of dozens of people. So I felt safe with words and writing them on a page. How many of you have heard of poetry? Have you ever written a poem before? Yeah, so I started writing poetry. And then one day I was like, you know what? I love this enough to want to make it a career. And that's why I decided to become an author, because I felt safe with words. And I felt like if I felt safe, then I could offer that safety to so many others through my words. Who has another question? Oh, perfect. Here.
Hello, my name is Eliana, and I am from Miss Sharp's class, and I am wondering if you're gonna make any other books.
Are we going to make any other books? Yes. I actually have, I can give you a sneak preview. My bag is over there, but I have a book that's coming out soon and it's already done. But yes, so I have several that I am making.
Yes, there's a few books coming out. The last book that I wrote that came out this past summer, if anyone likes cats, it has a lot of cats in it, and it's called When Ruben Plays. So if you like some cats, check it out.
Great question. Thank you so much. Y'all are so brave. I love this.
What advice would you give kids who want to be an own artist?
Ooh, what advice would we give to kids who want to be an artist? Take it away, Gracey.
Your eyes are the most important part for being an artist. So you always have to be looking and observing. And then that's the way you remember things. And when you draw, it's a way of showing how you see the world. So it's important to put yourself out there, show your work, let people know that it's what you enjoy doing, and the things that you want will come to you. So yeah.
And for me, you don't want my advice? You have some cool frames, by the way. I like your glasses. I would say save all of your work, your drawings, your poetry, your writings, whatever you do, save it now so that you can look back one day and see your growth, but also make fun of yourself for like the stories that you created when you were the age you are now. So save your work, okay? Thank you. Hello.
How long did it take you to write the story?
How long did it take for me to write this story? I started in 2019, and I think it took, I know it seems like a century for sure. It took about 3 or 4 months for me to get the first draft, but to make it what it is now, it took maybe less than a year. So I would say maybe 6 or 7 months to get it right. Because you have to, you write, then you have to go back and correct things and edit, and so it took a little while for me to get it right. Hello.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm from Elizondo's class. What other kind of book do you write about?
Ooh, great question. What other kinds of books or types of books do I write about? The story that I have coming out that's in my bag, and I'll give you a sneak preview, is about a grandson and his grandfather who have the last farmers market stand in their community. So they sell watermelons and pumpkins and all these like beautiful fruits and veggies. So I have that story, and I have some other cool stories with young dreamers like yourselves doing amazing things in the world, because y'all are amazing. You're extraordinary. Gracey? Oh, the question is, what other types of books, like what do you write about? Or you can talk about Law's words.
Yeah, I would say like all the books that I write about are just like the stories that I would make in my head when I was your guys' age. And when you become an old grown up like us, you get paid to share those stories that you used to have as a kid. So all the silly things I used to imagine are the stories that I like to write about now. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Gracey. Go for it.
Hi, my name is Marcos, and I'm from Miss Elizondo's class. Where did your ideas for the book come from?
Where did my ideas for the book come from? So Miss Janelle said that I am from South Carolina. I don't know if you've ever been to South Carolina, but my part is very, let's say there's more dirt roads than anything else. It's not a city. So at night, I would sit on my parents' porch and I would stare at the moon every night, so much so that my parents got a telescope for me for every Christmas. I would get a new telescope. And the inspiration came from that safety. As a kid, when I would stare at the moon, I was able to dream and dream big without anyone pulling that dream down. So it offered safety. And I wanted to, again, offer a safe place for so many of us that need it. We're a quiet place. Some people have said that the moon is like Nigel's diary, or the moon is like Nigel's older sibling, someone that you can confide in and talk to. So that's why I wanted to tell that story. And also because I still am a shy kid. I'm a shy person, and I have moments where I can shout my dreams out to the world and other moments where I just keep them tucked away. So thank you for your question. How's it going? The sharks, man. I love this.
Hi, my name is Christopher.
Mhm.
My question is, how did you feel when your book was published?
Ooh, great question. Like a journalist, how did I feel when my book was published? I felt on top of the world or on top of the moon. I felt amazing because when you do schoolwork or homework and you finish it and you feel like, oh, I did it, especially when you thought that it was hard and you finally get to that place of like accomplishment where you feel so good about it. That's what I felt like. And I was also ready for it to come out because it took 2 years. You can ask Gracey about her process, but we had to wait for Gracey.
So it takes a little bit longer for me to draw all the pictures, but I feel the same way as Antwan, where it feels like you have a very difficult school project. It takes a lot of research and time, but once you're done, you're just so happy and proud of the work that you've put in because you know that you did your best.
Thank you for your question. All right. Miles Morales, I like that.
My name's Axel, and my question is, what is the most difficult part of writing a book, and what is the most fun part?
What is the most difficult part about writing the book, and which one is the most important? The most difficult part about writing the book, it was getting started. It was getting started and believing in myself, because for a long time, I didn't think it was possible for me to be an author because I had never met an author who looked like me until that same year that I started writing. So 2019. So it was difficult because I had to get out of my way. I had to not listen to the voice that was telling me I couldn't do it. So that was the most difficult part, was to overcome that part of me that felt not too sure about it. The most important part is being able to have amazing organizations that are making sure that the book reaches young dreamers like yourself. That's the most important part, was being able to finish it, to partner with an amazing illustrator, and to have this moment, to be in this moment with all of you. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Rosa Parks. As we go through some additional questions, think through if you have other questions for Antwan and Gracey. We have a little bit more time. We do have our audience that's watching virtually, and we're so appreciative to have them here with us today, not in this space, but with us, joining the event. And we're getting some really great questions. Say that 3 times fast, huh? Great questions from our I said it. I asked you to do it. So there you go. See, it's hard. We're getting some great questions from our virtual audience. So, Antwan, was the book a true story from our YouTube audience?
Thank you, YouTube audience. Before I answer that question, I wanted to show you the sneak preview of the next book. This is the one with the farmer's market, and it's called The Last Stand. And later on, I think you're going to get some books I can show you like individually what it looks like on the inside, but I'll show you some cool stuff later, okay? Thank you.
I have a question. Is that book in bookstores yet?
Not yet. It'll be out in a few months, actually, January, so 2024. But you'll get a sneak preview.
You guys get a sneak preview before
know.
it's in stores, seeing it before everyone else.
Yeah. All right. So for the live stream, and what was the question one more time? I'm sorry. Was the book a true story? It is, again, loosely inspired by my childhood, having a moment where I could sit on my parents' porch and stare at the moon. But also it's inspired by all of you, because so many of us have big dreams and we have multiple dreams. So you don't just want to be one thing. I am a writer now, but I worked with animals for 9 or 10 years. So almost a decade, I worked in animal medicine. And I've also worked with after school programs. And I realized as an adult that there were multiple things I wanted to do and multiple things that I could do and have done. So I wanted to make sure that you all don't feel boxed in what you're doing. So loosely based on me, but also inspired by meeting all of you.
Thank you. Gracey, a couple of questions for you from Kumayai Elementary. Hi, Kumayai. So how long did it take to draw the pictures in the book? And what tools did you use to make the illustrations? It looks like watercolor. Was it watercolor, and why did you choose that?
Okay, so I think it took a few months for me to work on the book. Is that correct, Antwan?
Yes.
There's also a lot of time that I spent not working. So there was a few months of me doing research, and then the actual physical work was probably a few months. The materials that I used to make all of these pictures, have you guys ever seen ink, black ink? I used black ink, and I just, with a paintbrush, drew all those pictures. And the color is actually really similar to watercolor, but it's actually called gouache paints. And they're a more pigmented watercolor. And so sometimes they have a marker-like effect, and that's why I like to use them. Yeah.
Another question from Kumayai Elementary. What does the sun and the moon represent in this story?
Writing it, the moon represented safety for Nigel. It, again, some people have called the moon Nigel's older sibling. Some people have called the moon Nigel's diary, but it offered a safe space. It was someone or something that Nigel could talk to without feeling scared, without feeling judged. It's a place that he could take his dreams to, he could take his fears to. So the moon represents whatever safety is for you. It could be a parent, a guardian, one of your amazing teachers, one of these amazing organizers, someone that you know cares about you enough to listen to you. And the sun represents, it's the daytime, right? So it represents the moments of him shrinking back into himself and being afraid of sharing his dreams with the world until at night, because he waited for the moon and he would stare out of his window for the moon because that was the moment where he could be himself. Thank you. Great question.
Does anyone take time at night to stare at the moon, to look at the moon? We've had a big full moon recently, Halloween and past couple of weeks. All right, Julene from Doyle Elementary. Hello. Why did you put a mail truck in the background on the page about the mom's job?
Great question. Go for it, Gracey.
So that was actually a note, and it was intentional because Antwan had written the story with Nigel's mom working for the USPS. And we didn't want it to be, we wanted it to be a little bit of a surprise at the end. So we put an Easter egg and put the truck in the background. And so that's something for all of you guys to take a look at and search for any hidden meanings in the book.
Exactly. And I would add too, the reason for the mail truck, but also the jobs that Nigel's parents have, those are the same jobs that my parents once had. So my mom worked for the Postal Service and my dad was a truck driver. And I wanted to honor my parents in that way.
All right. So we have some friends at some other elementary schools that have sent in some questions. I believe the first couple are about inspiration, so I'll play a couple since they're similar.
Hello, my name is Kim, and I attend Chesterton Elementary School. My question is, what inspired you to write and illustrate this book?
Hola, my name is Aaron and I go to Longfellow. My question for you, Senor Eady, is what inspired you to come up with this book, and did you feel like this in your childhood?
Hi, my name is Amia Myers and I'm a third grader. This is my favorite page and I have a question for you. What's the most difficult part about writing a book?
Different question, but inspiration and what's the hardest part?
Yeah, so I think I've spoken about my inspiration, but I would turn this one to Gracey because when I wrote the book, we sent the book to Gracey's team, and she could have said no to illustrating the book. She did not have to, but she said yes. So I would be curious to know why Gracey, what inspired her to want to do the illustrations for the book.
All right, well, for this book, how many of you guys like looking at the moon? Yeah? Do you guys like to draw the moon? Yeah, it's a very easy thing to draw, right? A big circle. But it's very fun. There was so many different scenes that you can get to draw. Why I took on this project? Because it's a story that I related to as well. I grew up actually not in the United States. Have you guys been to Canada before? Yeah, it's okay too. I wouldn't go. But in Canada, I grew up and I didn't see a lot of people making drawings and being an artist. And when you're young, you don't know what kind of jobs you want to do. You only know what you like to do. And as I got older, I realized it was a possible job to become an artist. So this story really spoke to me. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And the other part of the question was the young dreamer mentioned their favorite page, and the other part is the most difficult part about the book. I mentioned earlier that sometimes, when I asked earlier if you've ever been scared, if you've ever been afraid, I was scared, and there's times that I still get scared. So the most difficult part was actually thinking that I could do this, and then having to overcome that fear of self-doubt. But then the other part was making sure that we got the best story out that was possible, because Nigel wasn't Nigel when I wrote the first version of this book. When I wrote the first draft, he wasn't Nigel. His parents didn't have those jobs. And there were so many other things that were different in the original version than that. But I had to keep going at it, keep writing, keep trying to make the story better. So the most difficult part was not giving up.
Two more.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Eady. My name is Luca, and I wanted to know, if you had a child like Nigel, how would you comfort them if they felt the same way Nigel did, or close enough?
Hi, my name is Niana, and I am in 5th grade at Oak Park Elementary. In the book Nigel and the Moon, Nigel struggled to gain the courage to tell others what he'd like to be. Have you ever felt the same? Did you use how you felt as inspiration to make the book?
Questions about courage.
All right, awesome. I think one asked, if I had a child, how would I comfort Nigel? Honestly, that's what I would say. Nigel's parents, they noticed that Nigel, so the surprise at the end is that Nigel's parents show up for career week. And in my mind, when I was writing this story, Nigel's parents are the only parents from the school that actually show up for career day. And it's because the teacher behind the scenes noticed that Nigel was a little more shy than others. So she invited the parents to come in, and through them showing their celebration, their love for what they do, they inspired their son. So when his dad says, "Dream big, son," and his mom says, "Be proud of who you are," those are words of encouragement that my parents have given to me. And sometimes it just takes us hearing that, to say, like, yes, I give you permission to dream big. Yes, I give you permission to be proud of who you are. And that's how I would comfort a young dreamer of my own.
I feel like that's a question I actually want to ask the students, like what makes them feel strong and brave. Should we take a few questions? Yeah, because I don't have a child, so that's something I'd like to hear from you guys. What makes you guys feel strong and brave?
Yes. That's okay. Anyone would like to answer? What makes you feel brave like Nigel? Yes. Say one more time for me. It's not too late to, I'm sorry, to show who you want to be. Absolutely, you're right. Yes. Yes. And that's important. It's what Nigel has too, to have someone like your teachers who believe in you and say, yes, you can do that. Yes. Oh, I love that. You feel brave when you think that you can do it on your own. And that's what it took for me to write this story, was to, again, mute the world, to like close my ears for a second and just say, can I do this? Do I feel brave enough to believe that I can do it? So absolutely. Thank y'all.
All right, we have 2 more questions.
Okay.
From our virtual audience, Chesterton Elementary, Amaya. Hello, Amaya. How many times did you make mistakes in the illustrations and you had to restart?
Too many times. I make a lot of mistakes, but the thing about mistakes is that you learn from them. So actually, I did restart a lot of scenes in this book many, many times. And that's something I think you should learn to embrace in your life. You know, does everyone know how to ride a bicycle? Yeah. Was it kind of scary to learn how to ride a bicycle? Yes, no. Yeah, it took me a long time to learn how to ride a bicycle too. But there's a lot of falling and sometimes you get some scrapes. But if you get back on the bike, you can learn how to ride a bicycle.
Mistakes in the story. Yeah, because again, the draft, right, is your first time writing the story. I have about 30 different versions of this story. So there's 30 drafts of the story. And I won't say there were mistakes, but more so I just wanted to make sure I could tell the best story possible. So I wouldn't call them mistakes because I love those versions of the story, but this is the one that I'm most proud of.
And we hear that you all have been learning how to write stories. Is that true? How's that process been going? Does anyone want to share about writing a story, their experience writing a story? No, still work in progress, right? You want to share? Come on up.
Whenever I go home, I will make like some comics. I will make a character. Yeah.
Okay. He said when he gets home, he writes comics and is exploring story writing through comics, right? Yes, yes. That's wonderful. So she reads books and then takes the ideas from the story to create her own stories. That's really great. Keep it up, right? Keep it up. Keep story writing. We have a question from Carver Elementary. This is a really good one for both of you. So we've got 3rd graders and then 4th graders. What would you have done better when you were in 3rd or 4th grade?
What would I have done better when I was in the 3rd or 4th grade? Honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I was a curious student. I loved school. I didn't want to leave school for any reason, even if it was a dentist appointment or anything. My parents thankfully scheduled around school so that I didn't have to miss class. I wouldn't change anything. And also, I was telling stories already. I love moments where I could write, in class. One time in the 4th grade, my teacher took my yo-yo and I wrote her a letter describing why that yo-yo was important to me. She felt bad and she gave me the yo-yo back. So even then I knew the power of words. Now, if you talk about other years, that's different story. But 3rd and 4th grade, beautiful. Loved it.
Same. Honestly, I think 3rd grade was one of the more fun times of my elementary school experience. I got to read a lot of books. We didn't have cell phones with TikTok or Instagram. And so I got to enjoy reading books as a child. And I feel like it served us pretty well. And maybe I would say play more sports, but I was a little bit of a lazy kid. So I like to stay home and read books. So I wouldn't change that, actually.
Great question, though.
5 minutes. There are other questions here in the audience. Come on up.
Yes.
So, so, how much? Oh wait, there it is. You feel that? How do you feel that you got chosen for the one book challenge?
Yeah.
How do you feel that you got chosen for the
One Book, One San Diego?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you. Beautiful question. How do we feel about having our book selected for One Book, One San Diego? I feel lucky and I feel honored and grateful because this is my first time in San Diego. This is my first time meeting the young dreamers of San Diego. This is my first visit here, so I'll always remember this moment as a new writer, being here and being able to listen to your questions, to listen to your dreams. I feel like, you ever walked into like this big candy shop or had a dream that you were at this amusement park that was just filled with candy? I feel like that. I feel lucky and I feel like the world is mine.
Everything Antwan said, very, very happy and feeling very grateful, but also hearing from you guys and hearing how many students wanted to be artists was a really, really nice thing to hear, because not many kids wanted to be artists when I was your age. So the world is changing a little bit.
Absolutely. All right, come on down. The next question.
Piper. What's your question, Piper? How long did it take you to get the idea?
How long did it take for me to get the idea? So later on, you may already be learning this, but when writing, you can do first person, you can do third person. When I first wrote this story, currently, if you open the book, that first page says, "At night, he tells the moon his dreams, and there his dreams are safe." But one day when I was working in animal medicine, working in an animal hospital, I was on my way back to my office, and for some reason, this line came to me, this sentence, and it was, "At night, I tell the moon my dreams, and there my dreams are safe." And I immediately wrote it down on my phone, and I was curious about why that sentence came to me, but who that character was. I wanted to know, why did they feel only safe with sharing their dreams with the moon? And that allowed me to explore the story some more. So that's where the idea came from, was an opening sentence. Thank you, Harper.
Hi, can you tell us your name and question? My name is Sophia, and how long it took you to write the book?
How long did it take for me to write the book? Again, about 6 or 7 months to get it right. About 3 months to get some drafts that I could actually share with the world, because like many of you with your stories that you're working on now, I have to wait until it's right before I let others read it. That's all.
My name is Albert, and I wanted to ask if you could sign this piece of paper.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you. That was brave of you too, and love the way you just shouted it out. I love that.
Taking initiative.
Exactly.
My name is Allison, and I was wondering, how long did it take you to make the book?
So we got a question for how long did it take us to make the book?
How long did it take for us to make the book? It took, thank you, I would say a two-year process between writing it, sending it off to see if a publisher wanted it. I think about 2 years, right? 2019 and 2020, 2020. And then it came out in 2022, so 2 years.
Thank you so much. I think that's it. We'll continue once we let's close out our virtual friends. Can we hear a big round of applause for Mr. Antwan Eady and Ms. Gracey Zhang? Have you all enjoyed hearing from Mr. Eady and Ms. Zhang this morning? All right. Hopefully you were able to get some questions answered and learn a little bit more about the behind the scenes of the book. Well, we encourage all of you to keep reading and keep dreaming and keep learning and growing. A big thank you to you all here and to our virtual audience for participating and asking some really, really great questions. I want to thank again all of our sponsors and partners for this event. One Book's funded by the Lyndon Root Dickinson Foundation, and we get additional support from the Seth Sprague and Frida Berlinski Foundation and Payne Family Foundation, as well as Kaiser, Francis Parker, Lloyd Pest Control, the City of San Diego, and our partners include KPBS, the San Diego Public Library, which I hope you're all checking out your neighborhood library and reading some great books, checking out some great books, and the San Diego County Library as well. So thank you to all of our partners and sponsors. We have a website. Go to kpbs.org/onebook to learn more. We have a teen book, which is Ivelisse Explains It All, and author Andrea Beatriz Arango will join us on Friday, December 1st. So mark your calendars. But a big thank you to everyone, to all of our virtual audience, and we look forward to continuing partnering with you and bringing you One Book, One San Diego titles and authors and illustrators, many more to come, because this is such a special experience. So thank you, everyone, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much, Antwan and Gracey. All right, so we kind of continue on here for a few more seconds.